What is up, and welcome back to the Peet Marketing Podcast. Today is an episode for my number-loving people out there. I'm going to show you how to grade the opportunities that you have in your business. Yes, put a numerical value to the opportunities so you can see what you should be taking action on based on the score that it gets. I learned this technique in 2015 on a cruise ship in the middle of the ocean by a guy named Chase Reeves. Maybe you've heard of him. He's an entrepreneur, great guy, super funny. Guy's hilarious, by the way. But I was recently this year going back through the videos from 2015, editing those down for Podcast Movement University. And I saw this and I'm like, why am I not using this method? This is absolutely brilliant. I mean, when I was on the cruise ship, I was shooting videos, so I didn't have time to take notes on it, but I had it recorded. So I was able to go back and just watch the recordings to see how to set this system up. And I have to share it with you because it's so brilliant. I have it in here as opportunity grading. I don't know if that's what Chase calls it or not, but I'm going to walk you through this. I'm going to paint you a picture with my word brush here for a second. So if you're watching the video or on social media or anything, I'll put a picture of this Google Sheet. That's what I use to make it. It's free, Google Sheets. If you want the template, let me know. I might create this as a template and give it away to everybody just to make it even easier for you. So you have 7 columns, A through G, and here's the titles of those columns. In the first column, you have task. Second is likelihood. 1 is it's not very likely to happen, and 5 is it's super easy to make that happen. I know how to do it. Column C, the third column, is speed. 5 being the best or the fastest. How fast can you make this opportunity happen? D, the fourth column, frugality, frugal. 5 means that it's free. 1 is crazy expensive. Column E, personal interest. If you're not interested in it, then it's a lower number. If you're something you're really interested in, then it gets a 5. F, impact. Higher is more impact. So if you put a 5, then it's going to have giant growth metric on your business. So like if Tony Robbins becomes best friends with you and starts tweeting and podcasting or whatever about your business, what would that be? Yeah, that'd grow your business. So 5 being a gigantic growth metric, being on TV or sponsored by some huge brand or something like that, giant growth metric. 1 being a little growth metric. Now, here's the math. So you have your task. So like I have one, it says, get Tony Robbins to email about me, to like send an email to all of his followers, his millions of followers saying, hey, Peet Marketing is awesome. If that happened, is it likely? No, it's not very likely. It gets a 1. The speed, how fast could I make that happen? Also a 1. That's not going to happen tomorrow. That's not something I can just text Tony about and be like, oh yeah, man, can you send that email blast out about me? That'd be super cool. Not really going to be fast. Frugality. This is a hard one to gauge. So I gave it a 2. It's probably a 3. It depends on how you go about it. I mean, if you're able to get in front of him and literally just impress him, be friends, it could be pretty frugal. But if you're going to go a different route and you're like, hey, I need to pay to go hang out on a private island with Tony to get to know him, it's probably not going to be frugal. So depending on what mode of action you decide to take determines how frugal that could be. Personal interest, 5. I think that would be super awesome. I like Tony Robbins. I actually got a ticket to go to one of his events this coming November. One of my buddies bought an extra ticket on a BOGO sale and his other friend backed out. So like I get to go to the Unleash the Power Within. Super cool. Impact. How much of an impact would it have on my business if Tony Robbins just started emailing his list about me? Be a 5. So the way you set up the math on this, I hope you're still following along. So you have all of those steps, and on the task column, you can fill that up to have 1,000 different tasks, different business opportunities, and then you just go through and you fill in the numbers. And in the total column on the far right, you have this math set up. So you want to add the likelihood of it happening plus the speed, how fast can it happen, add in the frugality, add in the personal interest, and then multiply all of that times the impact. So when I open it up, it's column B plus column C plus column D plus column E times column F. So for instance, getting Tony Robbins to email me gets a 45 out of I believe 100. I think is what it's graded on. It doesn't matter. It's the higher the number, the better. So getting Tony Robbins to email me about me is 45. It's lower because it's not likely to happen. Remember, I give it a 1. and it's not going to be fast. I give it a 1. So that's going to lower it. But then if I come down here to get on 50 podcasts, like guest on 50 podcast episodes, it's likely I could do that. That's a 5. I mean, that's just a matter of my time reaching out to people until I get on their podcast. Speed, it's a 3. It's not going to be super fast because it's a lot of podcast guesting to be on. Frugality is a 5. I can do that for free. I can find podcasts to be on my own time. Personal interest, 5. I have a podcast. So yeah, it's going to interest me to be on other podcasts. And the impact, 5, because if I'm on 50 podcasts, 50 different people's podcasts, and they all have different audiences for the most part, like that's a lot of new ears listening to my voice, and then can translate over to maybe they're listening to my podcast now because of that. So that's a 5. So that total impact is a 90. So getting Tony Robbins to email about me got a 45. Guesting on 50 podcast episode gets a 90, just because of how fast and likely it is to happen. The other numbers were the same. So this Google Sheet, you literally plug in the numbers that correlate, and it will actively grade what opportunities you should take advantage of. So for me, there have been things in my business where it's like, oh, I don't want to do that because what if it doesn't work, or, it take too long, it's going to be too difficult. And sometimes those difficult things can be worth it. Like me getting on Tony Robbins' radar. Yeah, that would be phenomenal if I could get on his radar. But that's a long game. That's something I can work on over the course of a year. Maybe I try to run ads to people on his list so his followers know my name, kind of thing. I know Russell Brunson did that when he started out. He was running ads to people who followed Tony Robbins on Facebook. So there are things you can do to get that rolling, but the fact that it's not likely and it's not going to be fast, if you're looking for faster business growth, then you're going to go with something else, like guesting on 50 podcast episodes or different podcast shows. Like getting Russell Brunson on my show. That got a 90 as well, because I already talked to Russell Brunson, so it'd be a little easier. Things like that. It helps you grade. I know you probably already get it. You understand how impactful this can be, how powerful this one free Google sheet can be. So I'll tell you again, you have the columns, you have your task columns. So what is the business opportunity? Get on Tony Robbins' email, get on Entrepreneur on Fire, guest on 50 podcast episodes. Make your list of things that you want to do, different business opportunities that you have. Then you have your likelihood, 1 to 5. 1 is likely, 1 is not likely. 5 is that it's easy to do. So likelihood, these are the numbers you'll need. Your likelihood number, 1 to 5. Your speed, 1 to 5, 5 being the fastest. Your frugality, 5 means it's free. So if you can do it for free, then it gets a 5. That makes it better. Personal interest, 1 to 5, 5 being most interested. And impact, the higher the impact, the better. So 5 being a giant growth metric for you there. And you add up likelihood through personal interest and then multiply that times the impact. It's going to give you your score. I really hope that this kind of opened your eyes to a grading way to show you what opportunities to take advantage of. If you start using this method, I would love to know what things you have on your task list, what the scores are. We can talk about it. If you want to join the group Marketing Really Matters on Facebook, head over there, answer the quick couple questions. We can join and we can talk about the opportunity grading system here that I got from Chase Reeves. If you want this free Google Sheet, let me know. Shoot me a message on my Facebook page or on Instagram somewhere. Let me know. Say, hey, I want you to create a template so I can download this, because it did take me a minute to set up and figure out how to do all the math and stuff, but I've already done it now. So I can literally just erase my content and you can start filling in yours. Let me know. Connect with me. I hope that this brought you some joy, showed you how you can take advantage of those best opportunities and find those best opportunities. And remember, marketing really matters.